Today, Baba is talking about accurate yoga. And Baba says that if you have accurate remembrance of Baba, then your faces will remain constantly sparkling and happy. Yes, so are our faces constantly sparkling and happy? Do we, or is the sparkle and happiness lost sometimes? So, depending on the answer, you know whether your yoga is accurate or not. Yes, so you see, when circumstances are favorable, everybody is happy in the world. But to be constantly happy and have a sparkling face always, you need to have power, because when circumstances are not favorable, when things are not going your way, even then your happiness is not lost. Even then the sparkle on your face is not gone. That is called, accurate yoga. I remember there was this one time when a sister in the center had 103 fever, and she was sitting in the class, and she was in such a good state that when she was sitting in the back because she didn't want anybody to catch the infection. So when I asked her, why are you sitting in the back? And then she said that, I don't want anybody to catch infection, Didi, I have fever. So I said, how much fever do you have? So she said, 103. And then she was so happy and her face was so sparkling that everybody said, but it doesn't look like you have fever. So she said, no, you can check. I have fever. So you see that mostly, when somebody is going through a physical paper of some illness or something, then what happens is it shows on your face. Yes, so the first thing is it shows on your face. But Baba says that why should anything show on our face? And for nothing to show on our face, it doesn't have to be on our mind, because the face is the index of the mind. So this quality of remaining, in such great spiritual power, that everything is happening to the body, or in the world around us, or in matters of wealth and relationships, but still that happiness and sparkle is never lost. That is the sign of accurate remembrance. And what is accurate remembrance? So first thing Baba says is that you are the children who have yoga with Baba, because for remembrance you need to know somebody accurately. So accurate knowledge leads to accurate remembrance. So otherwise you are not remembering that one, but you are remembering your idea of that one. And you see, if you don't know somebody as they are, then your buddhi yoga with them will not allow you to absorb their qualities, but the qualities that you think they have. Yes, because buddhi yoga depends on what you hold in the intellect. So if the intellect doesn't hold truth, then the buddhi yoga is not true. Yes, just like, so you see that, have you seen that when you are in a train and the train is not moving, your train is not moving, but the train beside your train is moving. And sometimes you have this illusion that your train is moving. And then when you go to school, you learn that, this is the inertia of motion, or it depends. I don't remember the law, but, this is a phenomena that happens. So when you become aware of the truth, and then you observe, because, you're feeling that my train is moving. But then because you hold that truth, you start discerning whether your train is moving or the train beside your train is moving. And then you can see that, your train is not moving, it's static. The other one is moving. Similarly, you see that when Baba comes, Baba tells us that you are not affected by somebody's words, somebody's behavior doesn't affect you. It's your sanskar of getting affected that's being triggered by that behavior that's affecting you. So you don't need to take care of them, you need to take care of your sanskar. So in the beginning, it seems like, no, it's not like that. It is, what Baba is saying is not true. But then with the faith that, no, the knowledge of the ocean of truth is only telling you the truth, you start experimenting. And then you become aware that, yes, I was getting affected because of my sanskar. And now that I'm working on my sanskar transformation by having yoga with Baba, who is the ocean of purity and who is purifying my sanskars. So as I keep doing that, then the other person's behavior and their words, they start having less and less and less effect on me. And as I get purified, everything around me starts to give me happiness and peace. Earlier, everything was giving me sorrow because I was finding the reason to get sorrow everywhere. Similarly, Baba says that, children, you were not receiving the light and might from me, not because you didn't remember me. You remembered me in bhakti also, but because you didn't know me. So when you remembered me like somebody who is giving you happiness and sorrow, how could you feel happy remembering me? Yes, so Baba says that you need to know me as I am. And the first qualification for accurate remembrance is accurate knowledge. So Baba today gives the example of, the priests who take a walk in the remembrance of Christ. And Baba says, although they are in silence, they are remembering Christ in silence. So it's a very good practice. But Baba says that they cannot burn their sins because they don't have Buddhi Yoga with Baba. And Baba says, I am the purifier. And you see, remembrance of Baba, or, remembrance of God, or Raj Yoga has been given a very, very pivotal, position in the scheme of practices that can free you from sins. So Baba says that there is so much praise of my remembrance that my remembrance can absolve you of your sins. And everybody is remembering God. You see, there are so many people who are just chanting the name of God, or, remembering somebody, some prophet soul or somebody, or deities. And this is going on in the world, and everybody believes in God. Everybody remembers God in their own way. But Baba says that why are sins not getting absolved? Why is everybody becoming impurer and impurer? You see, in my experience, you see, in whatever ways I thought God existed, or whatever was my idea of God, I remembered God all my youth and my childhood. But there was no sharpening of intellect, opening of intellect, or awakening of conscience, nothing. So, and you become more and more impure every day. So, right from childhood until youth, what happens is, you are remembering God, but then you are making worse choices every day. And the intellect, the locks on your intellect are not opening, and you're not getting purified. Because you see, if you become pure, then your discernment between pure and impure will increase. So, if you become pure, then impurity won't attract you, impurity won't pull you, and more impurity pulls you because you are impure. Just like you see, if if you see a wall which is very rugged and not polished, then it will attract a lot of dirt, because when there is no polish inside, then outside dirt will also get attracted. But when a wall is very finely polished, then very less dirt will stick on it. And similar is the quality of the soul. But when I have always tried to analyze everything from my internal experience, and I always felt that yes, I used to remember God in my own ways always. But then why did I become, every day I made worse choices, like, with regard to whether it is spending my time or thoughts, or why is my waste thought increasing? Why is my thought of worry and fear increasing? Why is my thought of negativity increasing? So everything is increasing all the time. So, you are born not that impure, but then gradually you're becoming more and more impure. And then when you come to Baba, you are doing the same thing. So I was going to office, I was still going to office when I came to Baba. I was, doing the work that I used to do, my engagements were the same. But why, how did the locks on the intellect start opening? How did my attraction towards impurity finish? So that happened just because of this one shift, accurate yoga. So, you remember God earlier also, you remember Baba now, but now you know that Baba is Baba is my parent. Baba is the one who is giving me inheritance. Baba is the ocean of purity. So, earlier you used to remember Baba like the ocean of gifts and treasures and, somebody who gives you everything material. And, this is the way you talk also earlier, that I know, Baba, you can give me whatever you want, so give me this. So, but now you know that this is not Baba. Baba is a being of, purity and peace and love, and that's what you take from Baba. And you have this intoxication that Baba is mine, Baba is teaching me, and Baba is going to give me the inheritance. Right now also I am receiving the inheritance of virtues and powers, and Baba is going to give me the inheritance of 21 births. And Baba is here, I have Baba's blessings, I have Baba's love. So when you start remembering Baba like that, and especially Baba as the purifier, then what happens is your sins start getting burnt. So one aspect of accurate remembrance is accurate knowledge of who Baba is, what Baba gives, what Baba does. So Baba, that's why says that everybody has yoga with their idea of me. You have yoga with me. And when you have yoga with me, then your sins get burnt. And you see that even if you're not doing too much, but just having Amrit Vela yoga in accurate remembrance of Baba, remembering Baba as he is, then you will see a shift. You will see a shift in your inner world. You will see a shift in the choices you make. You will see a shift in the way you think. You will see a shift in the way your sanskars are working, and you will see a shift in your karma. So this is accurate remembrance. Second aspect of accurate remembrance is that Baba says that you have to remember me in soul consciousness. Yes, so Baba gives a very good example today. Baba says, just like a spider creates his own web and then swallows it. So you have also created this web of, thinking about your business, your body, your bodily relations, and this is a web of thoughts that you have created. So just swallow that web and sit, free from all these thoughts and become a point of light, put a full stop, and then remember me. So Baba says that there's a very good law that when you die, the world is dead for you. Yes, so you don't have to kill the world. You just have to die. And you see, Baba has taught us Baba has brought us to the essence of everything. So what is death? Death is when the soul is no longer identifying with the body. Yes, so when the soul becomes separate from the body, the soul comes out of the body, that's called death. But do you know that in Hinduism, we call sleep half death? Yes, and that's why in the scriptures it is said that before you go to sleep, finish your business, because this is like half death and you don't know whether you'll wake up from it or not. So what is half death? So when you go to sleep, what you do is, the world is there, you are in the body, but you detach from the body. And although, the ears are open, the skin is still there, but you don't feel a thing, you don't hear a thing. And that's called half death. And when we come to Baba, Baba teaches us dying alive. And how do you die alive? You just sit in the awareness that I am a soul, I have a body, but I am not the body. And I have the ability to remove my buddhi yoga from the body and just sit in the essence of who I am. So just sit in the essence that I am a soul. I am an eternal, thinking, experiencing, living, peaceful, pure being of light. And Baba says that is like dying alive. And when you create this bodiless state, where you remove your intellect from the body and just sit in the awareness of yourself, then Baba says that all the other things, the body, bodily relations and everything, they are aspects of the body. And all those thoughts you will be able to suspend for some time. And Baba says, in this state you remember me. That is called accurate yoga. So Baba says, when you remember me in the bodiless stage, then your rust will be removed. Yes, and third aspect of accurate yoga is constant yoga. So you see that when you come to the realization that you are a soul anyway, and all your relationships and attainments are with Baba anyway, then your heart is always remembering Baba. Yes. And have you seen that while you are doing everything and anything in the day, you are always remembering someone or something? Yes. And that someone or something is usually that your object of relationships or attainment. So where just like a businessman, whatever he's doing, he will keep thinking about money because he thinks that, money is his treasure. Or a mother would keep thinking about his child. So it is either relationship or attainment that pulls your heart always. And Baba says that once you start realizing that I am a soul anyway, so becoming soul conscious is not difficult. So, whenever you are walking, talking, you are in awareness that I am a soul speaking through the mouth. I am a soul walking through these legs. And then you are in awareness that my Baba is the one I have all relationships with, all attainments from. So then your heart is always linked with Baba, and there is constant exchange of energy. So when you are in constant remembrance, whatever you are doing, you will never become tired and depleted, neither spiritually nor physically. So Baba says that this tirelessness, this, always being sustained by my virtues and powers, not having a single moment when you lose your happiness, that will happen when your yoga is accurate. And you see, there is nobody in the world you remember, or nothing in the world you remember by making a timetable to remember them. Yes? Do you ever make a timetable to remember someone or something? No. That's not how you remember. So you always remember the one or the thing which is pulled by your heart. And Baba says, once you start understanding that I am yours and you have all relationships and all attainments from me, then you will constantly remember me. And yes, you will consciously train yourself to do that. But then slowly, gradually, that remembrance will become accurate. So this is about accurate remembrance. And then Baba today also says that, people in the world, they have been taught to sit in silence. But if you just sit in silence, then what will happen is, whatever is pulling your heart will start pulling you very badly. And then you will start thinking about your business and bodily relations and whatever is holding you in guilt and shame and things of the past and this and that, even more and more. Yes, and this is why you see, just sitting in silence is neither a good idea nor does it benefit anybody. Yes, and that is why you see, if it was a good idea and if people benefited from it, then many people would choose to sit in silence. But more and more you observe in the world that people are running away from sitting in silence. And they are just trying to distract themselves. Even for these days, even for a second, you don't want to sit in silence. You just want to see something, scroll something, or pick the phone or talk to somebody. Why? Because sitting in silence alone is not going to benefit you. Yes. So Baba says that is why you have to sit in silence and remember me. You have to engage your mind and intellect in my remembrance. And if you don't do that, then Maya will, tend to tire you more and more in silence. I remember, when I was in school, then when somebody died, or there was a national holiday for somebody's death, or on Martyrs' Day, we were supposed to have a silence of 3 minutes. And that was conducted in the school. And I remember I used to have the maximum thoughts in those 3 minutes. And as soon as, it was ordered that now you have to be still and sit silently, then I used to have the maximum thoughts at that time. And then one day I went home and I told my father, why do they ask us to sit in silence? We are better off talking because we are thinking so much. And my father said, no, you just have to keep quiet, because he also didn't know more than that. So he said, you just have to keep quiet. That's the discipline. So you see that is how it works in the world. And Baba says that this is why sitting just in silence is not a good idea. And you have to sit in my remembrance whenever you are sitting in silence. And in my remembrance, you have to feel my companionship, my presence, my virtues. You have to fill yourself with that intoxication. Otherwise, Maya will, kill you in that silence. So that is what Baba says. And then Baba tells us that along with remembering me, you must also follow my Shrimat. And you see that it's very interesting that Baba gives us very simple directions which have very deep and great benefits embedded in them. Very simple directions. But if you see, yesterday there was one brother, he called the center and he said, I have been 25 years in Gyan now. And I'm not following most of Baba's directions. Yes. So why does this happen that we are just listening to everything, we know everything, but we are not following all Baba's directions? Because Baba says you have to fill yourself with power. If there is no yoga with Baba, then that ability to follow directions doesn't emerge. But then when you're doing yoga also, after that you have to fill yourself, after you have to follow Baba's directions also. And I will tell you one incident. There was this one Mata, and she, for 1 week, she kept telling me, Didi, I want to talk about my son. Didi, I want to talk about my son. And then somehow the schedules didn't match, and she was getting very, concerned about her son. And then I talked to her one day, and then she said, Didi, my son is now in bad company, and he's not listening to me, and he's not listening to his father also, and now he's doing whatever he feels like, and those are usually things that we don't approve of. And how do I change this? How do I change this? So I asked her, does your son eat at home? So she said, yes, food he has at home. So I said, okay, then great. You just cook food in Baba's remembrance and offer bhog to Baba and serve the child. So she said, Didi, that much I know now, I'm doing. So I said, okay, you're doing. You are remembering Baba and cooking food, offering bhog. But are you doing it in actual remembrance of Baba? Or just like, you've played some music and some songs, and then you're not conscious. You're just worrying about your son and cooking food and not even realizing that I'm not in remembrance. So then she said, yes, Didi, yes, I'm not in conscious remembrance probably. So I said, so just do it consciously. Just, have accurate remembrance of Baba while cooking food. Don't entertain any other thought. Just be soul conscious, remember Baba, cook food, offer bhog with love, not as a routine activity, and then serve that bhog to the child. So she said, Didi, tell me something else. No, this is so simple. So I said, no, simple is great. So simple directions, if you follow, you become great. That is the law. So you go now. So then Mata said, okay, Didi, I thought you will give me some nice directions, and you are just telling me, just offer bhogs. I said, yes, that's all you have to do. And then she did that. And then after 10 days, she said, there's so much change in the child. Yes. And this is why Baba says, I'm giving you very, very simple directions. Just wake up at Amrit Vela, remember me. Even if you have to, change your schedule of what time you sleep or make certain adjustments, do that. It's a very, very small price to pay. If you just followed one direction of waking up at Amrit Vela, remembering me in your awareness, not like, you are sleeping at 12 and then getting up at 4 and then you are half drowsy and remembering Baba. No, that's not the way. If you have to wake up at 4, make sure you sleep by 10, before 10. And if you just made this one choice, made this one adjustment, then you will have so much benefit. Just eat pure food. Yes, food is such a big part. Food and water is what our body is composed of. And food and water is not proteins and carbs only. It's vibrations. food and water carry vibrations. And we don't understand that. And when we are cooking food, offering bhog, or serving food, eating food in Baba's remembrance, then your body, that body which you're trying to purify through yoga, that food is becoming directly part of your body, and that's carrying the vibrations of yoga in it. And that power that food is carrying is going to purify your senses, and it's going to drive sense into you. So Baba says, just take care of these small directions. Yes, Baba says, when you look at somebody, just look at the soul. Just speak to somebody in soul consciousness. Just take a second, and while you say Om Shanti, just recall, I am a soul and this is a soul. Very simple practice. And you are always greeting somebody, and in that greeting itself, you can shift your awareness. But most of the time we are saying Om Shanti even without any mindfulness that I'm saying Om Shanti, or I am a being of peace. Even without that essence, you're saying Om Shanti. I have seen Brahmins saying Om Shanti in anger also. Yes, so so in anger also, Om Shanti, I'm leaving now. So this is not Om Shanti. Om Shanti is you are a being of peace. So Baba says, just meaningfully saying Om Shanti with the awareness that I am a being of peace, this is a being of peace, or this is a soul, this is Baba's child, that can make such a big difference. Yes, or just reading the Murli or listening to the Murli in awareness. Most Brahmins, they listen to the Murli in a very routine manner. If you just listen to the Murli in awareness and remember the points of the Murli. Yes, so one day, day before yesterday, there was this point in the Murli that you are the great soul, you have to always do things to receive blessings from people. Yes, and that day one Mata, she wrote the Dharana ke Sar also. She wrote that I have to do actions such that I receive blessings. But that day she cursed many people with her tone. And then, I reminded her that this is the Dharana ke Sar that you wrote on YouTube and I read it. So why didn't you remember it? So you see, we are doing everything. We are listening to the Murli. If you just did it with awareness and held those points in your awareness, then the Murli will protect you from so many things. If you just remember what Baba told me today, there are so many people who just listen to a horoscope in the morning and they remember, the horoscope said this, so this is going to happen. And if you can remember the horoscope, why can't you remember this is Baba and Baba said you have to be like this or do like this? And if you just held that in your awareness, then everything will change. So Baba says, just follow my directions with your heart. And these directions will change everything. They will change your sanskars, they will change the world around you. So these are the two things that Baba points out today. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
All these points were hitting inside for last 2-3 years. And I have studied in a Christian missionary school from childhood. And they sent us to church also in a week. And there we were asked to maintain silence. But I was very blank. I never understood what we have to do. What happens when we keep in silence. We were in primary at that time. And Baba says that remembrance, accurate remembrance will give happiness on the face.
Yes.
And this is very true. And when I write the chart, I think we should write how much time we didn't remember Baba.
No. You should always check how much you remembered, Baba. Yes, because that's where your focus should be.
Yes, Guru.
Okay.
And Baba is saying us, telling us these directions. These are very simple to follow. And in childhood, during school time, we all have stayed like this only. There is nothing new. We have lived that type of life.
Yes.
But because we listen to our parents, teachers, and now we are open.
Yes.
We don't want any bindings and no one to tell us. We want to live a comfortable life. That's why we are making all these excuses. It's all about our mind and choice we make, because Pardarshan is going on all time, and every situation and behaviors are affecting us, and that's why we don't want to leave all this.
Yes.
But one side we are understanding also, one side we are saying to Baba, yes Baba, I will do it. We'll do it.
Yes. Yes. That's
And
why
then
Baba
moving
says,
on,
become a child. So that's why
yes,
Baba says, don't forget that who you are in the physical world. Just become a child, because when you switch on to that child consciousness, you awaken the quality of obedience. So we were obedient as children. So that's why Baba every day says, Meethe bacche. Because when I sit in the awareness that I'm a child, that obedience will come up.
I remember Baba saying that Sacha Baba.
Yes, yes.
Every time I remember Sacha Baba.
Yes, yes.
And this really works in our vibration also, that works when we
Correct.
speak, when
Correct.
we see, when we
Correct.
interact.
Yes.
And very good tools. Thank
Okay.
you, Didi.
Thank you, Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.
Yes.
Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti.
Baba, sorry. Baba says that whenever you forget that whatever instructions are given to you are given like by Baba himself,
Yes.
who's the supreme power, that is when there is disobedience,
Yes.
because there's no importance
Yes.
of who is giving. And so he says that I should have conviction.
Yes.
Who is giving the direction, and
Yes.
then there'll be benefit. Even
Yes.
if there is something, Baba said, "Kalyankari," kuch bhi hota hai, then also that will also turn into your benefit.
Yes. 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 If you have done it on Baba's direction. Yes. Thank you. Om Shanti.